All right, guys, so today I'm going to show you a really cool thing that happens to you if you can stick in the TV film licensing game for long enough, okay? Now, what I'm going to show you today is actually not rare. It happens to me fairly consistently. This one just stood out because it was such a large actual placement amount, a large royalty check that I got from this one placement that was just 5 seconds long. And I love seeing these kind of things happen because it sort of reinforces what I've been trying to teach a lot of you guys for many months and maybe even years for some of you that have been following me for a long time, is that there's a passive income source that can basically come through this industry that I cannot see coming through almost any other side of the music business, where basically you can do work now and continuously get paid for it down the road. You guys maybe have heard me say this before, where I often get placements from music that I did 8, 9, 10 years ago. This is a track that I actually composed. I looked it up and I'll show you guys the original file. I composed this track in 2009 that I just got a placement for, well, a couple of quarters back, but I'm just now getting a royalty check for this song. Now, I've gotten other royalty checks for this track. This is not the only placement I've gotten, but this is just an example to show you that when you have a large collection of tracks out there, they can all be potentially doing this in the background while you're currently making new music. So I hope you guys are excited by this, okay? Now, the first thing you'll notice is this is an ASCAP screenshot that I have of just one of the pages of my royalty check. I am not with ASCAP now. I started with ASCAP, okay? I made the switch to BMI in 2012 or so, and I did that because I had heard that BMI pays better for TV placements, particularly, and that's my main game. That's my main source of income is TV background, usually instrumental placements. And I've been very happy. I've been seeing my royalties grow ever since, so I do recommend BMI. I think they're a great program or a great PRO to join. However, you need to do your own due diligence. If you feel ASCAP is a better fit for you, by all means, go for it. The reason why I still get these checks from ASCAP is because I left my original catalog with them, okay? So I'm not a writer of both PROs. You cannot be a writer of both. You have to choose one or the other. But I still have a couple of hundred tracks that I started with ASCAP, and they still collect the royalties for me for those tracks. It's just when I made the switch, I created a new catalog, okay? Make sure that's clear for you guys. So here's the placement. It's for some sort of a program, which I had never heard of this before. It's called Celebrity Page right here. I looked it up. It's basically like an Entertainment Tonight kind of a syndicated show where they talk about celebrity gossip, music gossip, even reality show star gossip. So it's syndicated. It goes through all different types of programs. But as you can see here, this is a local placement. This is actually for local TV. So it's not for cable. It's not for network, that kind of a thing. So these are usually those smaller markets that go for regions, essentially, regions of an area. It could be one state. It could be multiple states. But as you can see, here's the title, From the Gut. That's the name of the track. And I'm going to show you my original file to show that it was actually composed 10 years ago. And as you can go through, it actually has one thing here that all the other ones don't have. You can see it has a P here. That P actually for under this day part column actually stands for prime time. So most of your placements, and you'll see here, these are all Judge Judy placements. I don't know if you can see some of them there. I get a lot of Judge Judy placements. It's kind of funny. But most of them, you're not going to see this P there. When you do get your placements and you see a P show up for the day part, be excited because as you go on this royalty check, you're going to see that you're probably going to get a much larger payout than if it just was either daytime, middle of the night, that kind of thing. So those primetime hours, which are usually, it could be 5 to 9 p.m., 6 to 8, that kind of thing. Those usual hours when people are off work, they're at home, and it's like the highest amount of people that are watching TV at one time, okay? And then obviously you can see the performance type here. Most of the other ones, as you can see, they're all BG. That just stands for background instrumental, okay? SP, what does that mean? That is a station promo, okay? So that means that they were using my track to actually promote this show, okay? So they actually wasn't placed in the show, but it was actually used as a commercial or a promo, a trailer, so to speak, to get people excited to tune in to this Celebrity Page TV show, okay? Now here's the cool part. 5 seconds long, okay? 5 seconds, all right? And as you go on further, I'll kind of pull this a little bit further. You can see that the placement ended up earning me $1,500, $15, and some change basically. So over $1,500 for 5 seconds of music for a track that I composed 10 years ago. That's pretty crazy. I love being surprised by this. When I woke up and checked my royalty check, I was like, wow, I literally couldn't even remember this track because it's been a while since I'd gotten a placement from it. But I went ahead and looked it up in my files, and I'll show you right now. Go through right here. You can see here is the original JJ From the Gut. When was this project created? 102209. Okay, and then I modified it 11209. Here's the original bounces. As you can see, 112209. Okay, so a little under 10 years, basically. I mean, we're a little bit early, or early in 2019, but basically 10 years ago, I created this track. Now, I can't play this track here on YouTube because the spider bots that go out there and notify people that tracks are being played that they actually control, and this was an exclusively licensed track, so this library that I've had it exclusively placed with do have the rights to exclusively distribute this. So if this track gets played on YouTube, this video is going to get taken down, and so I don't want you guys to miss out on this information. So, but what I will do, if you're in Sync Academy, I will link below this video. So I'll have this video in Sync Academy, and I'll actually play a snippet of this, or have some sort of an MP3 that you guys can just preview what this track was, and you can kind of get an idea for what kind of sound actually got this sort of a placement. So I obviously don't want to do this to be braggadocious or to kind of show off what I do, but I do want you guys to see, you know, basically that this stuff really does work. Okay, so I'm not just sort of talking into the air. I really do practice what I preach, and I really do see the results that I'm talking about. Okay, and definitely I want this to be in the future for each one of you. I want you guys to start seeing these passive royalties piling up. Okay, this is one page out of, I think I had like 63 pages on this particular royalty check, and this is from ASCAP. This is from a company I don't build any music anymore with. Okay, so I have pages and pages and pages of passive income that are coming my way. The last thing, though, I want you to be aware of, just to be completely transparent, you can see that there's a $1,500 placement. That's pretty cool, pretty notable, right? But look at the range here, right? It goes all the way down to 1 cent, actually. You have this Judge Judy placement here that was 16 seconds, and you know it's getting basically a little over a penny. So $1,500 to a penny. Pretty big range, right? Obviously, some of them $5, $2, $4. Even this one's a little bit bigger, $17. Okay, so some of them are a little bit healthier than others. But you also need to be aware that, because this is why it's so tricky when people say, "Well, how much should I think I could be making, and what should I be shooting for?" You can see here, if you took the average of all these placements, you know, you're probably landing around what, like $800-900. But I'm not getting $800-900 per placement. It's just that you have some that are, you know, sort of those rocket A-list placements, like this $1,500 one, and then you get a lot of average, maybe smaller ones. Okay, so this is why I say shoot for these kind of big opportunities, and I hope that they come your way, but don't rely on them. Okay, because these are far and few between. They don't happen very often. But what does happen very often is I get a lot of placements from old music and a lot of new placements from old music. Now, a lot of them will be mostly in this sort of a range, $17, sometimes less, $5, that kind of thing. Basically, what I say for you guys is you should be shooting for your average placements, right? That means after you've added up all your placements divided by the number of placements you got, your average you should shoot for $25 to $50 in that range. If your placements are averaging in that range, okay, it doesn't mean that most of your placements will be 25 to 50, but the average of all of your placements divided by their number is $25 to $50. You're on a very healthy path to do this full time. That's what I recommend. That's where I see with my royalties where it usually goes. If your royalties are only, you know, $1, $2, $3, 10 cents, 1 cent, and so you're not even really breaking over the $10 range or even the $50 range with your placements, you might want to rethink who you're licensing your music with, what library you're working with, what kind of opportunities you're submitting to, okay? Because there is crazy amounts of money to be had in this business, and this is not some massive national campaign or international campaign. This is a local TV spot. Whoops, you guys can't see that anymore. Local TV spot here, right? So anyways, guys, I wanted you guys to be aware of that. I hope you use this as motivation and just confirmation that this actually is something that really can work. And honestly, if you can think of another side of the music business that provides you with this kind of passive income that can just surprise you in your bank account, please let me know about it. Maybe I should start pursuing it, because literally this is the only game in town. This is the only way to see these kinds of amazing results. And it's through hard work, and it's by getting your tracks accepted into the right kinds of libraries. So if you're new to the channel, or if you're new to sync licensing in general and you don't know how this stuff works, go through my free course, okay? It's what I recommend all of my new students do. It answers probably 90% of the questions you're gonna have about how do you get started, how do you make licensable music, who do you partner with, how do you find these companies, et cetera, and how to make sure that you're going to be signing fair deals and looking out for your royalties. Because if this track had been misregistered or registered to the wrong writer or something along the lines had not been double checked or scrutinized, this $1,500 would not be going to me. It would maybe not be going to anybody actually, or it could be going to the wrong writer. So you don't want to have that kind of situation happen in your career. You want to make sure that you're being smart and professional and business minded about your licensing career. So click on the link in the description box below if you want to get enrolled in that free course.